Presidential Youth Employment Initiative siyakukhahlela mhlekazi. Vuma sikutyibele ngamagama akufaneleyo. Vuma sithi ungugxothi indlala. Umzila wakho ubonakele kwiminyaka nje emithathu zelwe. Zothuka ezinye inkqubo zengqesho ebezikho zazibuza uba ngumafikizolo otheni nalo usuke waba ngundaba mlonyeni. Zothuka ii-akhawunti zeebhanka zolutsha xa kungena ityhosha rhoqo emva kweminyaka yendlala nokuvaleleka kwamathuba engqesho. Bothuka abazali namaxhegokazi bephiwa imali esongwayo ngabazukulwana. Bangena ooplastiki bevenkile bephuphuma ngooninoni abathengwe ngetyhosha etsitse kuloo mibele yakho ibhonxileyo. Batsho baziqonda abazali ukuba inene ukuzala kuzolula. Sizotshintsha ngoku sikhumshe kuba kufuneka siviwe kakuhle zizo zonke iintlanga xa sibhentsisa ngenguqu oze nayo ngexeshana kweli phondo nakwizwe lonke. Yiva xa bezothetha mhlekazi, hear their voices. Bekutyibela, bekubulela, ngathi ngusirayeli echaza ngembali yakhe yokuphungule iphutha. Kaloku thina nangona siyile esikolweni sabuya nemfundo enemisila, kodwa xa umntu esithinte kulaa ndawo sivuka yintro yakowethu ukubonga. Ithethile ke imbongi yakwaXhosa. Ngamazwana nje ambalwa ndithetha ngesiXhosa sakwaXhosa, sengathi ndithethe amawakawaka. Kwatsho kwathi nco, ndatsho ndetyho, nderham, ncincelele. As the organ of government tasked with the responsibility of implementing the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative in the Eastern Cape Province, the Eastern Cape Department of Education is constantly striving for innovation and improvement. Central to that commitment is ongoing introspection and keeping the fingers on the pulse of the program at grassroots level. Not only at the provincial office or the district offices where the overarching decisions are made, but at school level and on the dusty streets of villages and townships where the majority of South Africans live, to hear the voices of ordinary people talking candidly and without any coercion about their perceptions of the program and how it has affected their lives and surroundings. Some of you may well recall that at the end of Phase 1 of the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative, the Eastern Cape Department of Education produced a 15-minute video entitled Hear the Voices to report on the highlights of the program in that specific phase. Now, 2 years later, 2 teams were sent back to the field to travel from Bisho, the provincial capital, to the far ends of the province to compile an audio-visual report of Phase 3 and to some degree also Phase 2 of the program. For the Eastern Cape Department of Education, this is not an exercise to pat itself on the back and to hide its inefficiencies in certain aspects of program implementation, but this is an exercise of self-evaluation and research about what actually went down. Hear the real voices and take note of lessons to be learnt for improvement of the program in future phases of its implementation. Hear the voices.
We have populated our institutions of learning with very much skillful, agitated, energetic young people at the level of the administration of our institutions, but equally at the level of assistance for the educators to do their own primary task with his teaching.
I'm their go-to person because they come to me and tell me everything. And then I'll be like negotiating with the teachers. If a learner does not have a book, then I'd come and then tell the teacher in a soft way now, but Mania, for an example, do you have an extra book for, and then I think I am in their level, so it makes it easy for them to come to me now instead of going to the actual teachers because they are afraid of their teachers. So as an EA, I'm like the negotiator between the learners and the teachers.
Their presence really has added value in our school because ever since they came, learners have started to be disciplined because each and every class, we find that now is occupied. Because before the arrival of these EAs, you will find that since we are understaffed here, we don't have enough teachers. You will find that in other classes there are no teachers. But ever since the arrival of these EAs, each and every class now is occupied.
Abantwana isikakhulu ba exposed to drugs and abafuni isikolo abantwana bangoku. Baphuma esikolweni ixesha lesikolo singekaphumi batsiba ngamacingo eziba i-fencing zezikolo zingasekho kwi-condition right. Baphuma ngamacingo batshayela ezitoilet abasa-attend nee-classes ngoku belapha esikolweni ku-attend obhaka. So sijongene nezonto besides uklina.
Then in phase 3, we continue with those EAs that were in phase 2. We're having 1 GA and 6 EAs. The reason we're having 1 GA is because at least in phase 3, the COVID is not that much. So now in phase 3, we're focusing in curriculum.
I-results zethu zi-improving. Njengoba besingu-underperforming school last year, siyabona ngoku sibheka khona ngenxa yokuncediswa nangabo ababantwana aba, because umzekelo ngo-March we obtained 71%, ngo-June we obtained 75%, siyanyuka siyaya phaa kula 82% simfunayo at the end of the year.
We are told in terms of reports that reading of young, kids has improved because they are assisted. So reading champions, for example, are assisting because abantwana cannot read and write properly because of various factors, like for example your social media. So when it comes to reading at school at a formal level, they have difficulty. So that's where this program comes in handy and they assist the schools.
Back when I was in high school, I did not imagine myself as a teacher, but now being here and then being in class with the kids, it has motivated me, and then I've come to a decision of seeing, but okay, as much as I'm not a qualified teacher, then I want to do this every day. So I don't want to lie, it is great to be here, and the mentoring of the teachers, they are very nice and they are very supportive. They respect us, even though we are EAs and we are not qualified teachers. So the respect from the teachers, it makes it also easy for the kids to also respect us. When we are in class, we cannot differentiate between a teacher, a qualified teacher, and an EA. So I am very happy with the mentoring and everything.
We are getting, I think it's 4,080 rand. So with my stipend, I already started selling chickens. So with some of the money, I injected in those chickens that I'm selling, because I sell all the chickens. So now with this money, I'm saving each and every month so that I can start my broiler company. Because me and my brother have fused, we've come together to say, no, since you were doing agriculture at school, how can we make money? Or how can, since you've been sitting at home, how can we make money? So we decided to start our own broiler farming. So that is what I've used with my money.
Yeah, it's right.
As the Eastern Cape Department, we have also invested in training and development, where our general education assistants, such as your infrastructure coordinators, they are registered at a training center to do an accredited program.
We train 11 districts, plus minus 1,100 trainees in a handyman course. The course entails bricklaying, plastering, tiling, plumbing, carpentry, and roof finishing.
A school will purchase the material, whether it's painting or plumbing material or carpentry material, and then the training participants, under the tutelage of the trainers or instructors, they will apply their skills whilst also repairing for the school. There's benefit in the school in that fashion.
This school is a very old school. It's having more than 50 years. The building is very old. in so much that the department promised to rebuild the school. But I think because of a processes, it's not yet done. Now, there were a lot of things that were supposed to be done here. So because of that, we couldn't sit in that situation. Hence, we decided to do maintenance. And of course, today, when I had a parents' meeting, they were so impressed because they were also saying they were demotivated by the situation of the school and they wanted to take the learners out of the school. So now when they came here to the meeting, I had the AGM today, so they were so motivated and they were so impressed to say, no, the Maundatha is back.
Also, as the office, we had to invite the mentors that were mentoring the youth. That is Mr. Kletu and Mpums, because they had to come and make sure that the work that is being performed by this youth is up to standard. So we then introduced them to the principals and the SGP, that means the SMT of the school. Then they started negotiating.
Also conducted e-service providers, trying to make a comparison in terms of quotations according to the procurement processes. Now, when you compare to the money that we are giving them, it's far, there is a vast difference. For instance, I can say we have saved more than 300,000 by using them as the people who are going to assist us in this project. As I said, this project is a very big project.
We are partnering with infrastructure, a Directorate of Infrastructure, because as skills development, we're looking at opportunities within the department where these 1.2 infrastructure brigades can be deployed. And I'm happy to say the Infrastructure Directorate is coming to party because annually we send money to school for maintenance, general maintenance of schools. But now if you've got this cohort per district, we'll be able to utilize them.
Based on this report, it is evident that the primary objectives of the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative have been achieved, whichever way you look at it. Obviously, with anything, there is always room for improvement. The Eastern Cape project team is also proud of the handyman training for GSAs, as it is a unique innovation from the province and as such an expansion of the scope of the program beyond the youth employment imperative. In Phase 3, the province managed to employ 36,023 young people. The province also takes pride at having been able to attain the highest participation in Phase 3 in terms of applications and vacancies from its most impoverished and rural education districts, namely the OR Tambo Coastal and OR Tambo Inland. Despite the eagerness of the youth in those areas to find work, this massive participation is attributed to the aggressive awareness program implemented by the project team both in Phase 2 and Phase 3 to maximize participation and to demystify the online application process. Jam-packed halls of the Awareness Day Roadshow became testament to a successful marketing campaign. The Eastern Cape Department of Education continues to host gatherings around the province with a very good turnout, filling up the halls and conference venues across the different education districts as part of its orientation program, which seeks to have a smoother implementation of Phase 4, expected to commence on the 1st of February 2023. The current orientation program is premised on the findings by both the Auditor General and research conducted by the Eastern Cape Department of Education, which highlighted several areas in program implementation that need urgent attention and improvement. Over the past 2 weeks, these engagements have generated a lot of interest from school principals, data capturers, circuit managers, and officials from the districts, and gave them an opportunity to ask the provincial project team burning questions and to make suggestions. After 3 instances of successful implementation of the program, with compliments even from the national office, the provincial project team led by Ms. Lucanyo Sidia believes that now is the time to seek partners partnerships with the private sector, which will enable private companies to invest in the initiative. So far, 2 organizations have taken the opportunity. The department appreciates support from Vodacom with SIM cards containing 10 gigs of data and the 11,000 tablets from the ETDP SETA, which will assist with the capturing of data in schools. Indeed, to invest in education is to invest in the future. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a long journey of collaboration and realization of mutual benefits.